Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, you guessed it, I'm still in New York here and actually in Times Square. I'm having a really good time in New York, had some awesome breakfast, I've got a good rest, and I'm ready to go for the day. And yes, I've got a lot of news to talk about. So first up here, we're talking about PlayStation 3 emulation with RPCS3. And after 4 years, RPCS3 has changed the recommended and minimum system requirements here. So for the recommended CPU, they've jumped from an Intel Skylake to an Intel Comet Lake. That's 6th generation to 10th generation. Or an AMD Zen 2 3000 series to an AMD Zen 3 5000 series. And for RAM, they have jumped from 8 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes recommended. Minimum here is 4 gigabytes, they've jumped to 8 gigs. To be honest with you, these changes happened after 4 years and I can completely understand it. I mean, RPCS3 has made some massive improvements over the years, and honestly, in today's day and age, who has 4 gigs of RAM? Well, I guess if you do, let me know in the comments below. But to be honest with you, trying to run anything with 4 gigs of RAM now is severely limiting. Next up here, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation with Strato. Now, unfortunately, I still don't have a Strato release date. I went into the Nintendo store behind me and asked, when is Strato coming out? And they couldn't give me a firm release date. I even asked about Mikage, and they didn't even know about that one. Unfortunately, I don't have more information about either of those emulators for you, but as soon as I know more, you'll know more. Next up, we're talking about Selaco, and Selaco is celebrating its 3-month anniversary, and in fact, it also got a brand new update. So for some stats here, they say 70,000 copies of this game have been sold, which is lower than I thought. And they say it's on 410,000 people's wish lists. Now, in terms of what's been updated here, there's a whole ton of quality of life updates. They've added in backpack reloading, last weapon button, and more. They've added in smart ammo pickups. They've added in an option here that I really like, and that's adjustable difficulty during a campaign. They've also got improvements to immersion, whatever that means. They've reworked mutator menu with 3 new mutators. There's AI improvements, stagger rework, weapon and enemy balance changes, further improved level design, vastly improved soundscape with more ambient noises, reworked sound effects, and even more. So if you wanted to see the full patch notes for version 0.85, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below. And yes, right now I'm in Grand Central Station, and it's very nice. Next up here, we're in Central Park, and I would argue this scenery is much more my style. Anyways, we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with, yes, you guessed it, Shad PS4. And Shad PS4 has received some more improvements for Bloodborne. So if you take a look, I'll drop a link to a YouTube video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. The textures have been fixed and also the audio. So we've got working audio in Bloodborne on Shad PS4. I don't know what's going on with this emulator, but they keep making improvements. And as a result, well, I keep having to talk about it. Moving on, and next up we're talking about AnandTech. And this site has been around for about 27 years, and unfortunately they're closing their doors. So if you used to enjoy AnandTech, unfortunately you won't be able to moving forward. The site had a real long run, and it's kind of sad to see it go. If you've used it in the past, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below, and I'll drop a link to their announcement so you can go over their history as well. Next up, we're talking about the Retro Horror Game Jam. If you're a fan of retro games, if you're a fan of horror games, and if you're a fan of game modding, you may be a fan of the Retro Horror Game Jam. It's from September 25th to October 2nd. Now, if you're looking for a sneak peek at what exactly is to come, I'll drop a link to a YouTube video in the description below, and feel free to check it out. It's called Resident Evil Return to Sheena Island. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about ROM hacks, next up we're talking about something absolutely hilarious. It's called Super Cloud Gaming Bros. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. I gotta stop saying that. I drop a link to everything in the description below. Anyways, here, listen to the description of this one. It says, the year is 2035 and Nintendo is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the release of Super Mario Bros. But be warned, this will not be easy. Alongside these challenging foes, Mario will need to overcome online gaming's most loathsome enemies, such as high ping, lag, packet loss, and even desyncs. So basically, it's like trying to play Super Mario Brothers with a whole bunch of random connection issues. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they do have this note. This hack is not the actual cloud version of the game that will be released. Rather, it is only the recreation of what it will be like to play the version when it does release. And last up here, we're talking about Helldivers 2, and it appears this game is getting review bombed yet again. So it was review bombed before, and now people are review bombing it apparently because of nerfing and the game connection issues and even more. Now, if we take a look on Steam, interestingly, this game has a mostly positive review score, with 72% of the 664,000 reviews saying it's good. But recently, 39% of the 12,000 reviews are listing it as mostly negative. Let me know your thoughts about Helldivers 2 in the comments below. Are you happy with the latest update? Are you happy with the state of the game? And do you think it's worthwhile that the people have been review bombing this game? Do you think the review bombing is actually going to do anything? But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.